right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Good evening, I'm Ann Allred. Tonight we are in a weather alert as severe storms begin to move into our viewing area. Let's get to Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell with a look at your weather first forecast.
Well, you know, Ann, we are tracking showers and thunderstorms. They're not in our area just yet, but they are in northern Missouri, and they've really developed within the last 90 minutes or so, northeast of Kansas City and west of Kirksville. And these storms are producing some large hail and some gusty winds, and they're spinning as well. So there are severe thunderstorm warnings with these storms, particularly these two supercells, one that's just to the west of Trenton, another one just to the northwest of Plattsburgh. So this is the area to watch for continued development here across northern Missouri, especially west of Kirksville in the next couple of hours. Now, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch that includes that area and stretches over towards the Quincy-Hannibal area and down into Bowling Green. So it does include Pike County in Missouri. And as you look at our future cast here, you can see those showers and thunderstorms will be drifting in here through the wee hours in the morning. Now, by the time they get closer to St. Louis, they should be in that weakening state. So we're not expecting a lot of big time weather situations here in the metro area, but do be prepared for some rumbling as those storms move in. And certainly in the metro, that's after 3 a.m. Between, let's say, 1 and 3 in the Bowling Green area, there could be some gusty winds and hail with those storms.
Stay on top of the weather first forecast 24/7. Just text the word weather to 314-425-5355. We will send it right to your phone. Days after St. Louis Hill residents voted to pay more taxes to bring extra manpower to keep their streets safe, other neighborhoods are considering a similar idea. Tonight, our Brent Solomon met with leaders in the Hill about their plans for private security. Brent.
Well, and they say it's for peace of mind. It's just a thought at the moment. Neighbors are in the process of doing research to figure out if it's the best option for them. But they say it's time to do something. Home is where the heart is.
When you live in the Hill, it feels like you live on vacation. The corner stores, the restaurants, the people walking around.
It's why Jim Barnthouse heads the Hill 2000 Neighborhood Association. He loves living in what he calls one of the safest communities in St. Louis. But that doesn't mean it's immune to crime.
Every single neighborhood association meeting we have, it's the #1 topic. And it's people like, hey, my car got broken, so what are we going to do about it?
One option is what some other city neighborhoods have already implemented, paying higher taxes for private security.
Within the last handful of years, it seems like we have had an uptick in issues on the Hill. What we are doing now is reaching out to local security firms. We have priced services from 3 to 4 different firms in the area.
Last summer, the Holly Hills neighborhood took that route, neighbors agreeing to pay some $200 to put off-duty police officers on their streets. Just this week, St. Louis Hills approved a tax hike with the same goal of making their community safer.
I know from working with our police liaison that the city police are working very hard. They are extremely responsive. Unfortunately, we hear this a lot, they're stretched and they're stretched thin. Unfortunately, it just doesn't seem like there is enough officers to deal with things in the district or in the area.
So today I caught up with an officer who works for city police and for a private security firm. He says he picks up about 25 extra hours a week after working his full-time job with SLMPD. Today, a city spokesman telling me the city will continue to work with Holly Hills and the some 100 other local tax districts all across the city.
Tonight, newly released video shows the moments leading up to a hit and run near Busch Stadium. We want to warn you, you may find this disturbing to watch. Surveillance video shows a black Dodge pickup truck pushing a golf cart near the intersection of South Broadway and Clark Avenue after the Cardinals game Sunday. When the two people inside the golf cart confronted the driver, they accelerated further down the street. And then the exchange continued right here. The truck eventually struck both of those men, nearly driving over one, the one in the red shirt, before speeding east on Clark. Police say the victim suffered minor injuries, and tonight they're still looking for that driver. Tonight, several people are recovering after a boat exploded at the Lake of the Ozarks. It happened at the Millstone Marina this afternoon. Missouri Highway Patrol says gas fumes built up in the engine area and a spark set off the explosion. 16 people were hurt, with injuries ranging from minor to moderate. Tonight, St. Louis police are investigating vandalism in Lafayette Park. someone fired a paintball gun at the George Washington statue. The Lafayette Park Conservancy Group says they're working to have the paint removed without damaging the statue. We've reached out to police to see if they have any suspects. Tonight, the Taste of St. Louis kicked off for the first night of delicious local eats. Dozens of food, vendors, live music, a culinary stage. It can all be enjoyed this weekend. It's happening at Ballpark Village. 5 on Your Side's Diamond Palmer gives us a taste of what you can expect.
There's that, my man.
Hundreds of foodies will make their way downtown this weekend for the Taste of St. Louis.
That I tore up an elote, the OG one from one of these tents. I had cheesecake, strawberry, rangoons, or just rangoons. And then I had the peach ice cream and strawberry ice cream, and then this lemonade.
While Gabrielle Workman is no stranger to the taste, it's the first time for Amy Gresham.
I am holding some kind of jerk French fries from the Crooked Boot and some red beans and rice. And how does it taste? The red beans and rice are phenomenal.
And yours should be right up.
There's 30 food vendors this year, including Bayou Seasoning and Catering, who've been selling their food at the event for the past 15 years.
We do etouffee, jambalaya, red bean, catfish basket, a chapalaya, which is crawfish over fried catfish baskets. We do voodoo fries. We're here to serve y'all.
The Taste of St. Louis not only welcomes food trucks, but also brick and mortars, including Salt and Smoke. This is their third year doing the event.
The brisket slider combo and a rib.
We got our brisket, which we're serving as sliders. Then we also got our pulled pork, both coming as sliders with options of potato salad and coleslaw. We get to see and feel in the immediate time zone of what they like, and we can adjust it in that same kind of category. Because all about barbecue is about the relationship you build with them. Because barbecue is for besties.
2 sliders and a wing.
Salt and Smoke has made it their mission to come to the taste. Carly says what keeps them coming back is being connected with the community and being an active force in it.
Thank you very much.
Diamond Palmer, 5 on Your Side.
It looks good. The Taste of St. Louis will continue tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday, the hours are 11 to 6. For more information, look for this story in the As Seen on TV section of KSDK.com. Tonight, an 8th parish set to consolidate under the All Things New plan will remain open for now. Earlier this month, the Archdiocese of St. Louis implemented its plan to close or merge 178 parishes into 134. Our Lady of Sorrows Parish appealed its merger to the Vatican. It recently received a new decree pausing that effort. The decrees will be suspended at the 8 parishes until the Vatican makes a decision, which the Archdiocese says could take months. There's a new opportunity for former employees at South City Hospital. Last week, the historic hospital closed, leaving hundreds without a job. Today, SLATE, the St. Louis Agency on Training and Employment, hosted 2 job fairs to help the more than 500 people who were laid off. We caught up with a nurse practitioner who was fired last week. She says this job fair has opened doors.
Great, because there's a lot of great people that work there, and since everything was so abruptly ended, I think it was great that they were able to get us the opportunity to get a job right away.
For those still looking for work, SLATE says it will have more job fairs like this later in the year. If you have questions, you can reach out to SLATE. Their phone number's on the screen, 314-589-8000. The loved ones of these 4 people say the 911 system in the city of St. Louis failed them because they were put on hold when they needed a lifeline. 3 of them, these 3, died. A 5 on Your Side viewer asked the Verify team, can the state step in to make sure calls are answered? The interim public safety director of St. Louis, Charles Coyle, said in July that the city is short 40 police dispatchers and 10 EMS dispatchers. 5 on Your Side viewer Ray asked the Verify team, could Missouri National Guard soldiers answer the city's 911 phone lines until the open positions can be filled? Let's verify. Our sources, the Army National Guard, the Missouri Attorney General's office, the spokesperson for Governor Parson, and Missouri law. 2 authorities can activate the National Guard, the President of the United States and state governors. Missouri law says the governor can activate the National Guard when, in his opinion, circumstances so warrant. And it makes specific reference to situations where conditions of distress or hazard to public health and safety beyond the capacities of local or other established agencies. Bottom line, it's at the governor's discretion. I asked if Governor Parson would consider mobilizing the Guard in this instance, His spokesperson, Jonathan Shiflett, said Governor Parson does not have plans to mobilize the National Guard to operate 911 phone lines in St. Louis at this time. This comes down to a local issue, and Governor Parson hopes that local leaders will prioritize this public safety need. We can verify, yes, Governor Parson has the power to activate the Missouri National Guard to answer 911 phone lines in the city of St. Louis, but the governor has no plans to do so at this time. St. Louis Public Safety spokesman Monty Chambers has issued statements saying the city is working to build a new 911 center to house all police, fire, and EMS dispatchers under one roof, raise the starting salary for a police dispatcher to $39,000, have plans to cross-train dispatchers so they can fill in for each other, and has already combined police and EMS dispatchers in the 911 center. What would you like for me to verify? Send me an email, the email address verify@kstk.com.
This is going to take years to recover.
For the first time, people in Hawaii are seeing the damage left behind by this week's deadly wildfires in Maui. How the Show Me State is already helping those impacted. It can be a challenge to find truly fresh seafood. How you can enjoy the catch of the day without risking your health.
And it is a noisy night in northern Missouri. Thunderstorms erupting there this evening, some with hail, a lot of lightning too, and gusty winds. When they impact parts of our area, coming up.
The Maui wildfires are now the deadliest natural disaster in Hawaii's history. 67 people are now dead, and that number is expected to grow as search and rescue teams comb through the island. Thousands have been left homeless by the wildfires that quickly became an inferno. Tonight, there are concerns that drinking water may be contaminated because of those fires. Residents in Kula have been warned not to drink it and to take only short, lukewarm showers to avoid exposure to possible chemical vapors. Today, residents of Lahaina were allowed to return home to assess the damage firsthand. The tourism destination was mostly destroyed. A farmer who lost a small fortune in crop damage is now bracing for much bigger losses.
I lost nothing compared to what people lost. I lost farm stuff and food and whatever, tiny little things compared to what people lost. People lost their family, they lost their houses, everything we've seen, all the landmarks, everything that we've seen for years, history, it's all gone.
Right now, at least 6 wildfires are still burning on Maui, but firefighters have made progress in containing them. Missourians are stepping up to help Hawaii with the recovery. 2 people from the Missouri chapter of the American Red Cross are on the ground in Maui. Since the flames began, the nonprofit has provided over 2,000 overnight stays, not only to residents, but also vacationers. Officials say there are a couple of unique challenges about this specific disaster mission that really show its magnitude.
We know that there is such a profound loss of life and so many people that are currently unaccounted for, and really trying to do the best we can as a humanitarian organization to help make those connections.
The Red Cross says the best way you can help right now is financially. The Salvation Army is also asking for monetary donations as they coordinate thousands of meals at the shelters. To donate, volunteer, or if you need help reuniting with a loved one who was impacted, head to our website, kstk.com, under the As Seen on TV section. You can help the victims of the wildfires in Hawaii by just texting the word HELP to 314-425-5355 for the information. In a surprising move in the ongoing probe against Hunter Biden, the Attorney General announced a special counsel in the case. David Weiss, who has been investigating the president's son since 2019, was appointed as special counsel. The case took a dramatic turn last month when a plea deal involving tax and gun charges fell apart. Hunter Biden ended up pleading not guilty. The criminal case will likely go to trial. Meanwhile, in federal court in Washington, D.C., lawyers for Donald Trump and federal prosecutors sparred over what the former president can say about the case involving his alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election. The judge ruled sensitive information from the case must be kept from public view. This is not the end of the headaches for Trump. He could be charged in an investigation into his alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election in Georgia as soon as next week. Tonight, an assault weapons ban in Illinois is once again in effect. This morning, the Illinois Supreme Court ruled that ban is constitutional. It covers assault-style rifles and handguns and high-capacity magazines. Current owners would also have to register their guns by next year. There's been debate about the legality of this ban, with some saying it violates both the state and U.S. constitutions. However, supporters say saving lives justifies the ban.
Every single day that this ban is in place, I know that it's saving lives and that it is preventing the next mass shooting, and it is critical to cut off the easy access to these weapons of war to keep people safe.
The decision is expected to be appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court. Seafood is high in protein, it's often low in saturated fat, and one of the best ways to get large amounts of those heart-healthy omega-3 fatty acids. But seafood can quickly spoil, and some raw varieties carry health concerns. To balance it all out, Consumer Reports has advice to help you get the benefits while reducing the risks. Finding truly fresh seafood can be a challenge. Seafood supplier Chris Perkins, also known as the 417 Fish Guy, is up to the task.
I got into the seafood industry just mainly to support my habit of eating seafood. Just the taste of it, real clean. It makes me feel better when I eat seafood.
For more than 20 years, he has provided the dock-to-door service.
We also deal with suppliers in Hawaii, Alaska, Canada, the East Coast, and those products are shipped. Logistics nowadays is amazing.
Seafood is more perishable than meat or poultry, so you need to take extra precautions to reel in this great source of protein.
Cooking seafood to 145 degrees Fahrenheit kills most germs that could be in the food. But when the food is eaten raw, especially when it wasn't previously frozen, pathogens can be present and make you sick.
For finfish, the issue is mostly parasites such as roundworms, tapeworms, and intestinal flukes. These parasites can work their way into your intestinal wall and cause nausea, diarrhea, or abdominal pain. Just another reason to closely examine the catch of the day.
So you always want to look at the eyes, make sure they're not overly cloudy. Look at the gills, make sure they're flesh-like, look like they still have blood in them, not gray or dark, which that guy's beautiful.
The American Heart Association recommends you eat at least 2 3-ounce servings of non-fried fish per week. For raw shellfish, check for freshness. Bagged shellfish should have a tag indicating when it was harvested. If shellfish isn't bagged, the store or the supplier should have that information. Stick with those harvested no more than about a week earlier. And don't forget about food safety when you're shopping. Keep seafood separated in your shopping cart and bags.
Having a freezer bag with you, either gel packs or ice in a Ziploc works as well. And that's how you transport your product from the store.
Place in the coldest part of your fridge and enjoy as soon as you can. Consumer Reports suggests that you freeze raw seafood you won't use within 1 to 2 days. Lean fish keeps for 6 to 8 months in the freezer. Fatty fish such as salmon, only 2 to 3 months. Tomorrow is World Elephant Day, an international event dedicated to the preservation and protection of elephants. Today, we stopped by the St. Louis Zoo where they hosted fun and educational activities. A big part of today's event was educating guests about illegal wildlife trafficking. If you have any unwanted ivory you'd like to get rid of, the National Wildlife Property Repository accepts those items. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joining us again with more about this storm that he's tracking and your weather first forecast.
You know, I don't think most of us are going to see really intense weather, but that's happening across northern Missouri right now. And we know, and if you've been outside this evening, you know, it is still incredibly warm and muggy in St. Louis. Temperatures well into the 80s. Dew points are in the low 70s. That's steamy air, and that's helping to fuel these showers and thunderstorms to our north. It took them forever to get going, but now that they have, this is the area up to our north that we're monitoring. Notice here, as you go into the Trenton area, you have quite a bit of lightning. A lot of cloud-to-ground lightning, a big indicator there of hail with these storms. Now, the overall intensity seems to have come down just a little bit, but there are still 2 severe thunderstorms here. Both are producing hail, both of them likely producing some gusty winds, and another storm off to the northeast that's getting a little intense as well. So this is the focal point up to the north and northwest of St. Louis. Severe thunderstorm watch is in effect until 4 a.m. It does include Pike County in Missouri. That includes Clarksville, Bowling Green in Louisiana. As we head towards 1 o'clock, these showers and thunderstorms will be progressing off to the east and southeast. So they should be in the Bowling Green area by about 1 to 2. And then between 2 and 3, they're starting to push into the metro area. Now, as they do push closer to St. Louis, we think there'll be a weakening trend here. And so while there still will be downpours, there's still going to be some pretty good noise with all that thunder and lightning. The odds of severe weather seem to be somewhat limited, and our threat would be mainly from gusty winds, downpours, and of course the lightning. And then by daybreak tomorrow, it slides off to the south and southeast of St. Louis, and potentially there's a little more that develops before we finally kick this first wave out of here tomorrow afternoon. So a strong storm certainly possible, especially north of St. Louis. The broken line of thunderstorms will move east and southeast. Storms likely weakening as they approach the metro area. That kind of summarizes what we expect overnight. Right now it's 87 degrees. We managed to get to 95 today. Your dew point 72, so pretty steamy. We're staying in the 70s. Scattered strong storms, and again, the strongest storms are likely between 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning up towards Bowling Green and up towards Pike County. Tomorrow afternoon, we should see most of the showers press out. Sunday, there is a return of the moisture across the bi-state area. Our chance for showers and thunderstorms, while it's there in the morning, it does increase as we head in through the day. The actual front is back to our north and west. So as we head into Sunday night, again, some stronger storms will certainly be possible late Sunday night into very early Monday, but that's not the most favorable time for us to see severe weather, kind of like what we're seeing tonight. Not the most favorable time. So tomorrow, upper 80s, low 90s, much cooler for Monday and Tuesday in the low to mid 80s. And then the end of next week looks pretty typical for August.
Scott, thank you. Corey, what's coming up?
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but things did not go well for Adam Wainwright once again. The same can't be said for Dennis Gates, who has landed another 4-star recruit. Stick around, sports is up next.
The Sports Desk is sponsored by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer 10 years running.
It was a battle of futility tonight in Kansas City. The 43 games under 500 Royals against the 14 games under 500 Cardinals. And I really wish I came bearing better news for Adam Wainwright fans. It was another rough outing for Waino, maybe his roughest yet. Adam only got 3 outs tonight. He gave up 4 runs in the first inning and then 4 runs in the second inning before he was pulled. 3-run shot from Bobby Witt Jr. did the most damage. Waino's ERA is now 8.78 for the season, and he has not won a game since June 17th. Down big, the Cards did their best to claw back. Wilson Contreras drove in 5 runs tonight, and he was on base 5 times. Started with a 3-run double in the third, and then an absolute mammoth homer in the 9th. Cards could not complete the comeback, though. Royals win tonight 12-8 and add to Wainwright's final season struggles. As the season winds down, we're all more and more focused on which young players may join the Cardinals roster. This guy will be back at some point. Lucan Baker may be blocked position-wise in St. Louis, but he just keeps mashing. A grand slam tonight to widen his minor league home run lead. We think Mason Wynn will be here too. He's recovering from a glute strain and was back in the Memphis lineup tonight, so it still seems like just a matter of time.
I don't think that would necessarily derail his opportunity to debut at some point near the end of the season. It would all depend how he recovers. But again, the Cardinals wanted to stress that it was a mild strain, so hopefully Mason can get back to action soon. But my sentiments on the matter haven't changed. I do think we'll likely see Mason Wynn at some point towards the end of the season.
Okay, be honest with me. When Missouri basketball announced Dennis Gates as its next head coach, what did you think? General reviews range from who to why, but oh man, has Gates delivered so far. The latest wins have come on the recruiting trail. Tonight, Gates and Mizzou got a commitment from 7-foot, 300-pound Georgia center Peyton Marshall. Marshall is the second 4-star recruit to pick the Tigers in the past week, with Florida's Marcus Allen already on the board. Overall, the Tigers already have 3 4-stars in this class, which has them 3rd in the country, according to 24/7 Recruiting. And they may not be done quite yet. Speaking of high school kids, we have some great football talent in St. Louis ready to hit the football field once again. Over at defending state champion Cardinal Ritter, it's not about history made last season, it's about writing a new chapter with this year's team.
The thing is that last year was last year. We're looking to do it all over again this year. Some people say that we losing a few guys, but like I said, I was asked before, like we got guys to step in and take their place. So we ain't got no drop off at all.
And this year we try to go back to back, and we most definitely are gonna go back to back for sure.
I love the confidence. 2 weeks from tonight, full slate of games back for 5 on your sideline. Hard to believe it's already high school football season.
I know. We were talking about that earlier. It flew by.
It did.
Thank you, Corey. Ahead at 10, celebrating its centennial. The local high school marking its 100th anniversary in style. Happy anniversary to Duchesne High School. The private Catholic school in St. Charles is marking its 100th year of existence. Tonight, it hosted a Pioneer Nation celebration featuring food trucks, live music, and games. Duchesne was established in 1924 as St. Peter High School. The school will host several anniversary events throughout this coming school year. Congratulations to the Duchesne community. And that's it for 5 on your side at 10. Thank you so much for being with us. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next. Start your day with Today in St. Louis tomorrow beginning at 6 a.m. and have a great weekend.